And lastly, keeping in mind that the belt is obviously something you still want, how do you see your path there?
My path there, well, just pretty simple. I just lay out the map right here. Is finish Buckley this weekend, and then wait for the winner of I believe Islam and JDM, which is going to be an incredible fight. Such a great thing now having Islam come up into the division. You know, who wouldn't buy a ticket to that? Former pound for pound and current pound for pound. And I love Islam. Islam's a great fighter. I think that's something that we will both remember forever. Win that and go ahead and probably vacate, go up. Myself, Dricus du Plessis, if he is the champion, or Khamzat Chimaev too, if Dricus is no longer the champion.
Probably not.
Kamaru Usman is back this weekend, ladies and germs, taking on Joaquin Buckley in the main event. We haven't seen this guy since man discovered fire. Been damn near 1,000 years that last minute bout with Khamzat Chimaev happened, and we haven't seen him win a fight in coming up on 4 years. He used to be pound for pound #1, on the cusp of overtaking GSP as the welterweight GOAT and tying Anderson Silva's win streak record. He used to be king shit, looking towards mind-boggling extracurriculars like skipping 185 and going up to 205 to take on Jan Blachowicz for the strap up there, and thinking his hands had gotten to a point where he liked his chances in a boxing match against Canelo Alvarez. As good as he was in 2021, this was some certified crazy talk. But now, on the competitive side, it's been radio silence from him for quite some time. And while he's been busy over on the podcast here with Henry Cejudo, Buckley's been over here on an absolute tear at welterweight. He was always kind of a middling fighter at 185, some moments of greatness and also some moments of him getting ham sandwiched. But 170 is where this guy belongs, and he has the former champ in his crosshairs. And unfortunately for Usman, I do not say this with a smile on my face, I think Buckley's gonna starch him. If this fight took place a couple years ago, then nah. I'd be picking Kamaru to piece him up at range and overpower him against the cage. But he's on his way out at 38 years old and a 1.5 year long layoff, and well over 2 years since he had a proper training camp since that Khamzat one was a last minute switch up, while Buckley is hitting his prime at 31 and has been over here ripping 170 a new asshole and throwing it at the wall. So Usman loses to Leon Edwards in the trilogy on March 18th, 2023, right? Takes on Chimaev 7 months later on October 21st. So since losing to Edwards, just the one showing. Now, as for Buckley, in that same time frame of 2 years, he smokes Andre Fialho, handily beats Alex Morono, which aren't amazing wins, granted, but these were his first 2 down at welterweight, so you know. But then he torches Vicente Luque, whoops Nursultan Ruzaboyev to a dominant decision, starches Wonder Boy, and then beats the crap out of Colby. Those last 4 bouts were all in 2024. This level of activity has just elevated his game at a breakneck pace. I don't think this version of Buckley would get knocked out by Kevin Holland or Chris Curtis. This dude is on fire. Now, it is worth taking into account that there are a few caveats in there. For one, Luque literally just curled up into a ball and gave up to the ground and pound. He's just never been the same since the Jeff Neal thing. Ruzaboyev and Colby were both last minute, and Wonder Boy is 40 years old. But regardless, he still looked damn good in all of those, especially the Ruzaboyev one. That cheeky geezer is 6'5" and somehow got down to welterweight, and I, along with most people, picking him to crap all over Buckley and leave him on the floor lifeless and covered in doo-doo feces. But he went in there and put a beating on the guy. And in the process, the whole division was on notice. And let's just face it, it's not just a long layoff that we have to consider here. Usman has the knees of someone who owes Johnny Knee Smasher with his big old sledgehammer a sizable amount of cash, and he accidentally bumped into him in a dark alley. He's had horrid knees for years now, including during his prime, and somehow his poker face is so good that he never showed a hint of pain in those fights. While he was the reigning pound for pound champ, taking ass and kicking names, his legs were in Fucksville.
Because, I mean, I talked to Kamaru about that. Like, Kamaru knows the end is near for him.
Kamaru's got some fucked up knees.
He does.
It's amazing that guy fights as well as he has. The kind of pain that he has. He told me that he had to walk on fucking grass because he couldn't walk on concrete because it hurt so bad.
Motherfucker walked backwards in the steps. I was in Denver with him a week before the fight. He'd be walking down the steps backwards. I'm like, yo,
because it hurts.
That's crazy
Isn't
to me.
that crazy?
Like,
and then goes and fights.
I got bad knees.
Now, some might argue that he's dealt with this for most of his career and been just fine, and I understand, but this man is getting old. If he had to walk on grass to avoid the pain of walking 5 years ago, I highly doubt that's gotten better, even with the time off. I wager it's probably gotten worse. And when you picture the two of these guys stanced up opposite each other, you got Usman over here on one side, moving and shifting his weight slowly, popping the jab, doing his thing, and you got Buckley over here darting around like a gazelle, bouncing to the left, left and then bouncing to the right and then exploding forwards. Just he literally never stops moving. In saying all this, I don't think it's going to be like the Colby fight where Usman just gets his ass kicked or anything. He's still going to be good enough to hang in there with the young buck, and his striking is clean enough that I think he'll be able to catch him coming in a few times. But I just worry about that power coming his way. I think what we're gonna see is a competitive 2 or 3 rounds where Usman makes a great showing of himself. It's gonna be very much back and forth, but with Buckley just slightly getting the better of him in backing rounds. And then sadly for the old legend, I see a late stages KO by like the 4th round. Buckley carries some one-hitter quitter ballistics in those fists. Man can whack. Well, I don't think Usman's chin is totally shot or anything. He only starched the one time 3 years ago. I just feel like he's gonna be a lot slower than his past self in there, and eventually Buckley will find it and explode into something diabolical. There is a very sheer power difference between these two guys. And you know what, man? I'm not going to be happy about it. People are clowning Usman for that intro clip of him saying he wants Islam and then DDP because, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. A big part of me very much wants that to happen for the guy. Can you imagine the scenes if a 38-year-old kneeless Kamaru beats the odds and takes out Buckley and even just gets another title shot in general? He doesn't have to beat the winner. He doesn't have to beat Makhachev or beat JDM. And let's be clear, at this point, he would not. But if he just gets in there and puts on a good scrap and makes it close, that's some legendary shit right there. I really want to pick Usman to win this one because his title reign really turned into something special, especially towards the end of it, and I came out a fan of the guy, but I just don't see it. Buckley is carrying too much fire in the hearth right now, and I see him taking another old guard skull this Saturday. I won't be sad if I'm wrong, but that's what I see happening. There's no disrespect to Buckley, don't get me wrong. I won't be sad if he wins either. He's fireworks, and he's lit up 170 more than a lot of the other contenders, to be honest. I wouldn't really mind him leapfrogging Shavkat if he wins this one for the title, but he has to annihilate another legend first, so let's just hope for Kamaru's sake it's not too vicious.